On this sunny November day, I want to remember the wonderful girl Athena Strand, whose life was so unjustly cut short 2 years ago by a murderer on November 30th, 2022. This event marked the beginning of one of the most high-profile and tragic criminal cases in recent years in the United States. Your support will help me to do more interesting investigations for you and solve the terrible mysteries of criminal cases. I will be very grateful if you put a like under this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so that you do not miss new investigations on my channel. Thank you for your attention, and let's explore the details of the incident right away. Athena's parents divorced when she was very young, and the girl remained living with her mother while her father moved to Texas. Despite the distance, the man continued to stay in touch with his daughter and visited her regularly. Athena's mom also tried to bring the girl to see her dad as often as possible, as she considered it very important for the child to spend enough time with both parents. Later, the girl's mother remarried, and Athena got 2 younger sisters with whom she was very close and cherished every minute of communication. Athena grew up to be a cheerful, sociable child who loved playing outdoors and giving her sincere smile to those around her. At the end of 2022, Athena's father took the girl to stay with him in Texas for the holidays. According to the plan, she was supposed to live with him until New Year's Day, attending the local elementary school during this time, and then return to her mom in Oklahoma. The father's house was located in a remote rural area surrounded by picturesque forests and fields. Athena enjoyed spending her leisure time in nature with her dad and got along with his new wife, Elizabeth. On that fateful day, November 30th, Athena returned home from school by bus as usual at 4:15 p.m. Her father and grandfather had gone hunting at the time, so the girl was only left at home with Elizabeth. In the evening, Athena was not in the best mood and started arguing with her stepmother. As a result of the quarrel, the offended girl went to her room, and Elizabeth went to the kitchen to prepare dinner. When, about 20 minutes later, the woman went to call Athena to the table, she was shocked to find that the girl was not in her room. Elizabeth searched every corner of the house, ran out into the yard, but Athena was nowhere to be seen. The woman's next step was to call her husband's relatives, who lived nearby. Sometimes the girl ran to visit them, but they had not seen her either. Greatly frightened, Elizabeth informed her husband about his stepdaughter's disappearance, and he advised her to call the police immediately while he hurried home himself. At approximately 6:40 p.m., the woman called 911. Within 14 minutes, the first police officers arrived at the scene. Elizabeth told them what had happened and suggested that Athena might have run away from home after their argument. However, this version raised doubts among the girl's relatives. Firstly, there was Athena's young age of 7 and the fact that she had never gone far from home on her own before. Secondly, it was already dark outside, and the girl had always been afraid of the dark. The police initially treated the stepmother with some suspicion because she contacted them only 40 minutes after the child's disappearance. However, after listening to the woman's explanation about searching the house and calling relatives, the officers concluded that she was most likely telling the truth. They immediately launched a search operation in the surrounding area despite the nighttime. The main version of the investigation was that Athena might have gotten lost in the dark after leaving the house. Therefore, all efforts were focused on combing the forests and fields within a radius of several miles from the house. The police also did not rule out the possibility of the girl being kidnapped, but no leads were found in this direction. The house showed no signs of intruders. Elizabeth had heard neither the noise of a struggle nor cries for help, and the neighbors had not noticed anything suspicious. The entire family of Athena joined the search, as well as many concerned local residents. The girl's mother rushed from Oklahoma as soon as she heard the terrible news. People did not stop searching until 5 o'clock in the morning, but unfortunately, no trace of Athena was found. The situation was complicated by the inaccessibility of the terrain, especially at night. By 7 o'clock in the morning, reinforced by additional forces, the police resumed the search. Moreover, when the information about Athena's disappearance spread throughout the county, hundreds of volunteers joined the operation. Some combed the area on horseback or ATVs, while law enforcement officers used drones and helicopters with thermal imagers to facilitate the search from the air. However, even a whole day of intense efforts yielded no results. It was already the second day since the girl had disappeared, and with each passing hour, the chances of finding her alive were dwindling. It was the beginning of winter, and although Texas is a southern state, the air temperature dropped to 50 degrees Fahrenheit at night. Athena was dressed quite lightly, so staying out in the cold for a long time threatened her with fatal consequences. The third day of the search was marked by the expansion of the area up to 6 miles around the house and the involvement of even more people and equipment. In parallel, another group of investigators began working on the theory of Athena's possible criminal abduction. Although there was initially no direct evidence of this, with each passing day, the improbability that the girl had simply gotten lost and still had not approached people grew. The police had already combed all the surrounding forests thoroughly, so it became increasingly difficult to believe that a 7-year-old child could have walked such a distance unnoticed and not stumbled upon any dwelling. Detectives set out to identify everyone who was at or driving past Athena's house on the evening of November 30th. The task was complicated by the fact that the house was located in a wooded area and at a considerable distance from the road. As luck would have it, there were no video surveillance cameras in that area. However, one lead did appear very soon. Investigators learned that on the day the girl disappeared, a courier service was delivering a package to the house address. The police immediately contacted FedEx and found out that the direct executive of the order was an employee of a contractor company. Law enforcement officers quickly established contact with the carrier organization and, without undue delay, found the very van that had visited Athena on the day of her disappearance. Fortunately, each of the company's vehicles was equipped with a video recorder. Detectives requested the recording from it as a top priority. When investigators viewed the video for the required time period, they saw shocking footage. The video recording clearly captured the driver dragging a girl who looked very much like Athena Strand into the cabin of his van. Police immediately identified the man. He turned out to be 31-year-old Tanner Horner. The suspect was arrested and brought in for questioning. As soon as the detectives told Horner that they had irrefutable evidence in the form of video, he decided to confess. The man confirmed that he had indeed delivered a package to Athena's house that evening. According to him, when he was backing up the van, he felt an impact. Getting out of the cab, Horner saw a girl on the ground. It turned out that he had accidentally hit her. Fortunately, the child had not received any visible serious injuries, was conscious, and even started talking to the person responsible for the accident. However, the next piece of information provided by Horner caused great surprise and disbelief among the investigators. Allegedly, Athena threatened to tell her father everything. The man panicked and forcibly put the girl in the car because he did not know how to resolve the situation. Athena continued talking, so he learned her name. Horner realized that when the girl complained to adults, he could have problems with the law. He confessed to the detectives something that shocked everyone present. According to the detainee, at that moment he could not think of anything better than to kill the helpless child. At first, Horner tried to break Athena's neck, but according to his own testimony, he failed. Then, the man strangled his victim. After that, he took the lifeless body to a river near the neighboring town and threw it into the water. Needless to say, such a wild story seemed extremely dubious and implausible to the investigators. However, Tanner Horner indicated the exact place where he had disposed of Athena. When detectives went there, they indeed found the dead girl there. This tragic news stunned not only the child's family but also thousands of people across the country who had been following the search and sincerely hoping for the happy rescue of little Athena. By the time her body was discovered, all the leading media had already trumpeted the story. The cruel and senselessness of the murder caused a wave of outrage and horror in society. The police brought official charges of kidnapping and murder of Athena Strand against Tanner Horner. While detectives were waiting for the conclusion of the forensic experts, they began to thoroughly study the identity of the suspect, trying to understand his true motives. After all, the version voiced by Horner himself seemed absolutely absurd and illogical. He claimed that he had unintentionally inflicted only a minor injury on the girl. However, he allegedly got so scared that he immediately decided to commit murder in cold blood. Investigators understood perfectly well that for an unintentional collision with a child with minimal consequences, the maximum punishment for Horner in the event of a lawsuit could have been a fine or dismissal from work at most, but certainly not criminal liability. While studying the detainee's biography, the police found out that he had a fiancée, and a year earlier, they had a daughter. In addition to his main job as a courier, the man moonlighted as an Uber driver and also played in a music band that sometimes performed in a cafe in the neighboring city of Fort Worth. Horner's social media accounts contained numerous photos with his little daughter, pictures from concerts, and other everyday shots that did not suggest any perversions or criminal tendencies in their author. Before his arrest on suspicion of murdering Athena Strand, Tanner Horner had never been held liable and had no problems with the law. Detectives literally dug through his entire biography but could not find even a hint that this person was capable of a cruel and senseless murder. Just a couple of months before the tragedy, Horner posted photos on social media showing him spending time with his beloved son and his grandparents, so it was almost impossible to imagine how this same person could cold-bloodedly kill an innocent girl. The only thing investigators hoped for was the results of the forensic examination, which was supposed to shed light on the true picture of events on that fateful night. Unfortunately, they had to wait several weeks for the official conclusion of the experts. During this time, Athena's parents filed a lawsuit against FedEx and its contractor who had hired Horner. They demanded stricter selection and screening of couriers to prevent similar tragedies from happening in the future. Soon, one fact became known that made this story even sadder and more bitter. It turned out that the package Horner was delivering to Athena's house on November 30th was a Christmas gift for her. Her parents had ordered a coveted Barbie doll for their daughter, not suspecting that this would be a fatal coincidence. When the long-awaited results of the forensic examination were finally made public, they raised more questions than answers. According to the conclusion, Athena Strand died within the first hour after the abduction. Injuries of varying severity were found on her body, and the direct cause of death was asphyxiation due to strangulation. However, this completely refuted the main version of the investigation, which stated that Hearer had kidnapped the girl for the purpose of sexual violence. Experts found no traces of such an action or molestation. Detectives were extremely puzzled, as such a motive seemed most likely given the circumstances of the abduction. No one in the police believed the truthfulness of the killer's own testimony. His story made no sense and did not stand up to elementary logic. Investigators began to construct an alternative version of events. The most likely scenario seemed to them as follows. After arguing with her stepmother, the upset Athena went out into the yard of the house. At the same time, Hearer arrived to leave the package and saw the girl alone. The house was surrounded by trees, so the man had an opportunity to carry out his perverted intentions unnoticed. He could have lured the child into the car by deceit or intentionally hit her in order to then carry her unconscious into the van. What exactly happened between the kidnapping and the murder was another question. Investigators considered two main versions. First, Hearer planned to take Athena far into the forest to take advantage of her helplessness, but the girl came to her senses and began to scream or try to escape. The criminal panicked and strangled her, then threw the body into the river. The second version was that Hearer did manage to commit lewd acts with the child that did not involve direct physical contact or penetration. In that case, forensic experts would not have been able to detect the characteristic signs of sexual violence. Soon, detectives found indirect evidence that Athena's murder could indeed have had a sexual basis. The fact that Tanner Hearer had never been held accountable before seemed suspicious. Usually, people capable of a cruel and purposeful murder begin their criminal path with less serious crimes. So, investigators set out to study Hearer's entire life, literally under a microscope. They interviewed his relatives, friends, colleagues, and acquaintances in search of at least a hint of a propensity for violence or molestation. And one day, their efforts bore fruit. It turned out that several people had suffered from Hearer's actions back in his childhood. For ethical reasons, the police did not disclose their names or case details. It is only known that one of the victims accused him of inappropriate behavior that occurred 9 years ago. In addition, cases were opened against Hearer for 3 more incidents of misconduct back in 2013. The investigation is still determining whether it is the same victim or different children. But the most shocking evidence of Hearer's harmful nature was a post by one of the girls on social media. As it turned out, for many years, she had been openly writing about how Hearer had mistreated her when she was only 16. The victim had been crying out to the whole world for years about the trauma he had inflicted on her and how terrible he truly was. But for some reason, the perpetrator did not receive the deserved punishment and did not even become a suspect in the case. The girl herself bitterly admitted that no one simply believed her. However, after Hearer's exposure, all these publications finally received the attention they deserved. They reveal the true face and possible motives of Athena's abductor. Now these episodes will become the subject of a separate trial. An interesting detail that adds depth to Hearer's portrait was his TikTok account. Users found only a few videos there, among which the last one, shot a couple of weeks before Athena's incident, drew attention. In it, Hearer filmed his reaction to a video where someone caught a bug in a jar and started poisoning it with toxins, watching the slow demise of the insect. Hearer did not hide a creepy smile, as if he sincerely enjoyed the sight. If he indeed had harmful tendencies and felt pleasure from the suffering of others, then his testimony about the accidental incident with Athena raises even more doubt. After all, according to Hearer's own version, he allegedly committed this act out of fear of responsibility for injuring a child. But if we assume that the girl's abduction was planned from the very beginning by a person who wanted to harm a defenseless victim, then everything falls into place. According to the Tarrant County District Clerk, pre-trial hearings will begin January 21, 2025, and jury selection will begin February 3rd. The trial is expected to begin March 17th. Though the incident allegedly took place in Wise County, the case is being heard in Tarrant County because the courts there are better prepared to adequately facilitate a trial of this case. Wise County will reimburse Tarrant County for all court costs. Currently, the prosecution has announced its intention to petition for the highest penalty in the case, the death penalty for Tanner Hearer. The defendant himself, on the advice of his lawyer, has withdrawn his previous testimony and now claims his innocence in the incident. However, it is unlikely that this will help him avoid a harsh sentence. The evidence is too obvious. The video recording from the van, Hearer's own confession, and the place he indicated where Athena's body was found. It is possible that other facts that are not currently disclosed will also be made public during the trial. It is quite likely that the girl's DNA was found in the van and biological traces of the kidnapper were found on her body and clothing. It remains to be seen how the process will unfold in this high-profile case. Time will tell what verdict Tanner Hearer will ultimately receive, but whatever punishment the court chooses for him, it will not bring little Athena back to her loving family, will not return all those happy moments they deserved, and will not heal the pain of the unspeakable tragedy that forever changed their lives and the hearts of many caring people. If you have enjoyed the video, then make sure to hit that like button and also subscribe to our channel so you won't miss out any other latest videos.